Good morning, students. Today we discuss about the company law, starting with the evolution and origin of a company. This is unit 1 of your syllabus. Definition of company. The word company in simple terms may be described to mean a voluntary association of persons who have come together for carrying on some business and sharing the profits therefrom. So company is basically a association of persons who are combined together for the achievement of the common objectives of the company. As per section 220 of the Companies Act 2013, defines a company to mean a company incorporated under this act or under any previous company law. This is as per the section given in the Companies Act 2013. As per the definition given by Professor Henny, a company is an artificial person created by law having a separate legal entity concept, perpetual succession and common seal. Then moving on to types of companies, that is classification of companies, or you can say categorization of companies on the basis of liabilities. The companies on the basis of liabilities, companies limited by share, company limited by guarantee, unlimited companies, then companies on the basis of number of members, that is one person company, private companies, public companies, and then companies on the basis of control, holding company and subsidiary company, associate companies. Then moving on to companies that in details about the companies on the basis of liabilities, company limited by share. So in this company, the liability of member is limited up to the extent of the amount of share contributed by them into the company, or they are only responsible to pay, not paid by them on their shares. Then company limited by guarantee. In such companies, the memorandum of association mention amounts of money that some members guarantee to pay. This is about the companies on the basis of liabilities. Then companies on the basis of liabilities again continue of unlimited companies. Unlimited companies have no limits on their members' liability. Hence, the company can use all personal assets of shareholders to meet its debt while winding up. Then company on the basis of number of members, one person company. So these kind of companies have only one member as their sole shareholder. Private companies, in terms of members, private companies need to have minimum of 2 and maximum of 200 members is required for the incorporation of private companies. This is a maximum limit of the number of members. Then come to public companies. Public companies allow their members to freely transfer their shares to others. Secondly, they have to minimum of 7 members, but the maximum number of members they can have is unlimited. That is in the case of public companies that allow their members to freely transfer their shares to others. And secondly, they have no need to have a minimum of 7 members is required to incorporate as a public company. Then come to the classification of companies on the basis of control, holding company and subsidiary companies. If one company controls another company, the controlling company may be termed as the holding company and the company is so controlled as a subsidiary company. This is a definition of holding and subsidiary company. Then come to the definition as given under the Companies Act 2013 as per section 2 subsection 87, subsidiary company or subsidiary in relation to any other company, that is to say the holding company means a company in which the holding company controls the composition of the board of directors, or second point is exercises or controls more than one half of the total share capital either at its own or together with one or more of its subsidiary companies. This is a classification of companies on the basis of control, holding company and subsidiary company. Then come to the classification of companies on the basis of control. Again, this is a continuation of the last topic, government company. So government company as per section 2 subsection 45 of the Companies Act 2013 that defines this is a definition given in section 2 subsection 45 of the Companies Act about the definition of a government company. So government company means a company, any company registered under the Companies Act in which not less than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by the central government or any state government or governments, partly by this government, partly by one or more state governments. A subsidiary of a government company shall also be treated as a government company. This is as per the section 2 subsection 45 of the Companies Act about the government company, which is you can call as government company. The central government or any state government or partly by the government or partly by one or more state governments, a subsidiary of a government company shall also be treated as a government company. Then come to the classification of companies on the basis of control. Associate companies. Associate companies are those in which other companies have significant influence, and this significant influence amounts to ownership of at least 20% shares of the associate company, and other company controls can exist in terms of the associate company business decisions under an agreement. Associate company can also exist under joint venture agreements. This is about the classification of companies on the basis of control. Associate companies who have significant influence amounted to ownership of at least 20% of the shares of the associate company, and other company can control exist in terms of the associate company business decisions under an agreement. So agreement is there. So on that basis, that agreement, associate company control have a significant control on other company business decisions. Associate companies can also exist under joint venture agreements. Then come to the features of a company. So company is an incorporated association of persons who are combined together for the achievement of the common objectives of the company, and that is incorporated because that is a legal requirement for the company to be incorporated as per the Companies Act 2013. Then come to the separate legal entity concept. Company entity is legal, separate from its member. Company is different and members are different. So there is a separate legal entity concept between the company and its members. Then come to the limited liability. The liability of the members of the company is limited up to the extent of their share contributed into the firm or up to the extent of their unpaid capital into the firm. So their liability is limited. Their personal assets cannot be utilized to pay off the dues of the firm. Then come to the transferability of shares. The shares of public limited company can be easily transferable to another, but that is not in the case of private company. Private companies, there are restrictions in the transferability of shares in the case of private companies. Then come to the perpetual existence, that is in the case of the company. Company existence is indefinite. Members may come, members may go. Company run as its own. So the members, the addition of the members, their retirement, their death, their superannuation, anything about the members does not affect the existence of the company. The company start by legal formalities and end by legal formalities. So that is a legal existence of the company in the eyes of law. So company has no such as natural appearance, like a natural person have its appearance like eye, ears, face. Company only exists in the eyes of law. A company represented by its law. So company has existence in the eyes of law. So that is perpetual existence, and that makes the existence of the company. The name is you can see in the registers of members of the company, at the place of the registered office of the company or domicile office of the company, and that shows the identity of the company towards the general public. Then there's a common seal that is required for the company to sign the important documents of the company. A common seal is there. That is very important. Without common seal, the document is not declared valid document. The common seal makes a document valid uh, to be presented in the court of law in the case of any dispute, for the settlement of any dispute. The common seal is very important for the company. Then come to the privileges of private company. That is the privileges available only to a private company. As per the Companies Act 2013, the Companies Act has provided certain privileges and exemptions to private companies that public companies do not possess. So these privileges accord them greater freedom in conducting their affairs. So this is available only to private companies. A greater freedom is available to private companies and compared to public companies. No need to prepare reports, annual general meeting. That is a very mandatory requirement for the public company to prepare annual general meeting reports and its minutes to be submitted before the ROC as important documentary evidence required to be submitted to file in order to file annual returns. So that is this is a privileges to private company. So there is no need to prepare annual reports for general meetings. And in case of another privilege available to private companies, that is only minimum 2 directors is required. So minimum director required is only 2 in case of private company. And no need to appoint independent directors. That is a very essential condition in the case of public company. Public company, at least 1/3 of directors must be independent by nature as per the corporate governance clause of the company, as per the MC governance, MC 21 governance clause of the company. Independent director clause is mandatory for the public company, but that is not in the case of private company. There is no need to appoint independent directors. So they can adopt additional grounds for the disqualification of director. That is not in the case of private companies. That is mentioned in the you have to mention your everything is the memorandum of sessions and article sessions. Disqualification of your directors, on which ground your directors are disqualified by you for the position of directors to obtain the office of director, to hold the office of director. And if they are found disqualified on that ground, you have to vacate your place of office. So they can adopt additional grounds. They can add. That is a privilege available to private companies, so they can adopt additional grounds. For the additional grounds, you can say parameter to the disqualification of the directors. Then they can pay greater remuneration to the directors than compared to other types of companies. So they can decide the highest amount of remuneration which they wish to pay to the directors. That is not in the case of public company. Everything has to be clearly defined in the MOA area of the company in respect to the directors' remuneration clause is there. Then come to the conversion of private into public company. Step 1 is conduct a board meeting to pass board resolution for the approval of notice of general meeting, conversion, and for the alteration of MOA and AOA. MOA is the memorandization and AOA is the articles of association. That is step number 1, that is to conduct a board meeting in order to pass a resolution for the approval of the notice of the general meeting and for the conversion process and for the alteration of MOA and AOA. This is steps that you can say stages involved in the conversion of private into public company. Step 2, conduct general meetings and pass special resolution for the conversion. For the alteration in MOA and AOA, you have to conduct general meetings, you have to pass a special resolution, and for the change in the name of the company, to delete the word, you have to delete the word private because you want to convert your company from private to public. So you have to delete your word private. That becomes a public company. So you can write the word limited after your name. That is a requirement, mandatory, you can say compulsory requirement to add the word limited after the name of your company. In the case of public company, that is in the case of private limited company, you have to write private limited. That is a requirement for the private company. But in the case of public company, you have to write the word limited only after the name of your company. Then step number 3, file an e-form, that is MTT 14 form within 13 days from the passing of special resolution. This is you have to file with the ROC of the company. So all the important mandatory documents have to be filed with the registrar of the companies, at the registered office of the company, and these are the mandatory requirements that has to be compiled with, that has to be followed if you want to convert yourself from private into public. Then with following attachments, that is attachment is required. You have to attach these documents and submitted a copy with ROC. So number 1 document is notice of general meeting along with copy of special resolution. Number 2 is altered MOA, and number 3 is altered AOA. So altered AOA is altered articles of association, altered MOA is altered memorandum of association. Thank you.